check this out.
President Biden is still intending to run for re-election in 2024, right?
I'll just repeat what the president said after the midterm election, which is he intends to run.
Why? Why?
I'm going to be very careful from here, as you know, because we are covered by the Hatch Act, and I'm not going to speak further to his process.
Is there a precedent for people running for president after FBI agents search their sock drawer?
What did he say?
Say that one more time. Say that beginning part.
Is there a precedent for people running for president after FBI
It sounds like
agents?
It sounds like you already know that the answer to that question.
I don't know.
Look, here's what I
don't know the answer to that question.
Here's
An FBI search of a president's residence is a big deal.
Here's what the president's going to focus on. He's going to focus on continuing to deliver for the American people. That's his focus. That's what he focuses on every day. That's what he's been focusing on the last 2 years.
Stop the cap.
And nothing is going to change that. You think about the bipartisan infrastructure legislation, you think about the Inflation Reduction Act, you think about the CHIPS and Science Act, the bipartisan one, the last two that I mentioned, done in a bipartisan way. That's what the president wants to do.
Okay.
He wants to continue to deliver on his economic plan that is going to build the economy from the bottom up, middle out. That is what matters to the president.
The House Oversight Committee chairman says this document situation has all the makings of a potential cover-up. Is President Biden involved in a cover-up?
Damn!
We have been very clear here from this administration. The president has been very clear that he takes this very seriously when it comes to classified information, when it comes to classified documents, and that his team has been fully cooperative.
That was a lie.
With this legal matter. Anything else, Peter? And I'm going to be very serious. You asked me kind of a question that everybody laughed at, which was interesting question to ask. But any other underlying questions that you may have, I would refer you to my colleagues, the White House counsel. I'm going to continue to be prudent. I'm going to continue to be consistent and refer you to any questions you have there.
5 minutes later.
Thanks, Karine. How is Israel going to conduct that investigation into the strike that killed those World Central Kitchen Aid workers?
Look, you heard from the president last night. You heard from my colleague from the National Security Council yesterday and also earlier today. I think the president's statement was very, very strong, right?
How's that working out for you?
Very straightforward. He wants to see an investigation that's swift, an investigation that's comprehensive, that brings accountability, and he wants to make sure that it is made public. We leave it to obviously the Israeli government to do that investigation.
What the hell are you talking about?
But we want to make sure that it's swift, it's comprehensive, that it's made public, and it is important. We need to certainly get to the bottom of exactly what happened.
Can you explain what that would entail, a kind of investigation like this? This is a strike that happened in an active war zone. Can you give us some detail on what it looks like?
Hey, y'all, come look at this.
Look, IDF said they have an ongoing investigation is underway. I think that's important. We've called for this investigation to happen. I think that's important. We wanted to see it happen in a swift manner. We want to make sure that the findings are public and that there's accountability.
Oh, dude, that's crazy.
I want to be very careful here. I'm not going to get ahead of that process. There's a process underway. I believe my NSC colleague mentioned that they have some initial findings. It's preliminary, and so that process is going to continue. I'm going to let that process go underway and let the Israeli government speak to that.
Oh, you better be joking.
For the sake of transparency, can you explain what that process is and if the U.S. is confident in that process?
Look, I'm not going to get into hypotheticals. I'm not going to get into a particular process here. We want to see something that is comprehensive. We want to see something that leads to accountability.
My thoughts exactly.
We want to see it be swift, and we want to make sure that it is made available to the public. That's what the Israeli government, that's what Prime Minister Netanyahu said he's going to do, and we're going to let that process flow. We're going to let that process happen.
So Kirby said earlier today that they're hoping to get in the books a meeting in person next week with an Israeli delegation. Can you provide any more details on that and who might come?
I'm not going to provide any details on that. What I can say is basically from the readout is that the expectation is to have a meeting in person. I think it was important that there was a virtual meeting.
Are you sure about that?
That occurred obviously on Monday to talk about the Rafah operations. We've been very clear where we stand on this, very clear. We believe there has to be alternative ways to deal with Hamas in Gaza, as we're specifically in Rafah.
What is that supposed to mean?
A military operation, we believe, is not the way to move forward. There is active conversations happening with the Israeli government and obviously our government, and I think that's important. I'm not going to go into details from here. As you heard from us, as you heard from my colleague, there's going to be hopefully next week in-person meeting, and we're looking forward to continuing those really critical, important conversations.
Oh, okay. I see what you did there.
Do you anticipate any changes to the president's policy toward Israel and Gaza as a result of yesterday's strike?
I can say that nothing has changed, and we've been clear about that since certainly since yesterday. We are going to continue to have those really tough conversations.
Okay, I'm listening. You have my attention now.
Right? Important, tough conversations about how Israel moves forward with their operation. We want to make sure that civilians are kept safe, that are protected, and also folks who are providing humanitarian aid.
Nice.
The president was very, very clear. He also said in his statement that Israel needs to do more. We've been very clear about that as well. We're going to continue to have those conversations with our Israel counterparts, and look, you know, this is important to this president. But
Okay.
I will also add, that's why the hostage deal is so critical. That's why the president has been working 24/7 along with his team to get that hostage deal done. And if we get a hostage deal, it means that we can get more humanitarian aid into Israel. Into Gaza, pardon me. It also means that we get to a ceasefire. We get into a ceasefire so that we can get that aid in, so that we can get also hostages home. So that is what we're going to continue also to work on.
That's enough with that. Stop right there.
Progress report on that hostage deal?
I don't have a progress report. You saw in the president's statement that his team continues to have those conversations in Cairo right now. That is important, and he, you know, we wish I can stand here today and say there's a deal.
What a stupid idiot.
But those conversations continue. We have made this a priority. This president has made this a priority to get that hostage deal. It's important to get those hostages home to their family. It's important to get that humanitarian aid, and with leading to a ceasefire.
Look at this. Somebody come look at this.
Just one more follow-up on the meeting yesterday. Dr. Ahmad said that he had handed the president a letter from an 8-year-old orphan girl who is living in Rafah. Has the president read that letter?
Good question.
So I'm going to be really careful here. I'm not going to speak to contents of a private meeting. Just not going to do that from here. The doctor speaks for himself. He's free to do that, but we have said we're going to keep these meetings private so that we gave folks who attended the meeting the opportunity to be honest.
Shut up, bro. Shut up, bro.